Hello, everyone. In a major development, Boeing has announced a huge shakeup of its senior leadership team. The aerospace giant is undergoing big changes at the top after facing intense scrutiny and criticism over recent incidents and issues. Today, we'll go through all the key details of this boardroom overhaul and what it means for the future of Boeing. We'll analyze the factors that led to this shakeup, the new executives taking over, and the immense challenges they face in righting the ship. Let's start with the biggest news. Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun has announced that he will be stepping down from the top job at the end of this year. Calhoun, who has been CEO since 2020, was brought in to steer Boeing through the crisis surrounding the 737 MAX crashes. In a message to employees on Monday, Calhoun said, "We are going to fix what isn't working, and we are going to get our company back on the track towards recovery and stability." However, his turnaround efforts have clearly fallen short based on this leadership transition. Calhoun did not name a successor, and the company said it will conduct a search to replace him, overseen by the incoming board chair Steve Mollenkopf, the former CEO of Qualcomm. Mollenkopf is taking over from current chair Larry Kellner, who will not seek re-election. So Calhoun's near three-year tenure as CEO is ending, as Boeing makes a fresh start with an entirely revamped leadership team. His exit comes just weeks after another highly publicized incident forced Boeing to ground some of its 737 MAX planes again. But Calhoun is not the only high-profile executive departing in this shakeup. Stan Deal, the CEO of Boeing's crucial commercial airplanes division, has also announced his retirement. Deal has been with Boeing for over 30 years and was seen as a potential successor to Calhoun at one point. However, he has borne the brunt of criticism over Boeing's latest operational and manufacturing issues. Replacing Deal as the head of Boeing's commercial planes business is Stephanie Pope, who was previously the company's chief operating officer. Pope takes over at an incredibly challenging time, with airlines furious over delays in getting new Boeing aircraft certified and into service. In addition to Calhoun, Deal, and Kellner exiting, there are some other big moves we need to discuss. Ed Clark, who was previously the head of Boeing's 737 program, was removed from that role last month after the recent incident involving an Alaska Airlines 737-900. When the plane's front cargo door opened mid-flight, it raised new safety concerns about Boeing's manufacturing. Taking over the 737 program from Clark is Katie Ringgold, who had been the VP of 737 MAX deliveries. Boeing has also created a new executive role overseeing quality and manufacturing at its commercial airplanes division, with Elizabeth Lund taking on that job. So in summary, the CEO, the commercial planes CEO, the board chair, the 737 program head, all out in this leadership purge, along with a new board chair and new executive roles around quality control. This is Boeing hitting the reset button at the highest levels after years of crises and quality lapses that have tarnished its reputation and strained relationships with airline customers. So what were the key factors and incidents that precipitated such a major overhaul of Boeing's leadership ranks? Let's take a look. First, the January 5th Alaska Airlines incident. This shocking mid-air incident is seen as the potential final straw for several Boeing executives. When the front cargo door opened on an Alaska 737-900 during the flight, it led to emergency landings and renewed scrutiny over Boeing's safety practices. The NTSB's preliminary findings indicated that Boeing may have failed to properly reinstall bolts on the door after maintenance, a basic quality lapse. This incident grounded some of Boeing's 737 MAX planes again for nearly a month as investigations took place. It was a high-profile reminder that quality control issues still persisted at Boeing, even after the 737 MAX crashes that took life of 346 people. The optics could not have been worse, seeming to validate critics who said Boeing's culture change had been insufficient. Second, widespread production problems and delays. But the Alaska Air incident was just the latest in a long line of operational shortcomings, manufacturing errors, and delays in getting new planes certified and delivered to airline customers. In 2022, Boeing racked up $5 billion in abnormal costs related to production issues and supply chain constraints. Dreamliner production fell behind with quality flaws discovered. There were also delays in getting the 777X widebody certified. Most damagingly, Boeing has fallen woefully behind in getting new versions of the 737 MAX certified for airlines and into service, infuriating major customers. Ryanair's Michael O'Leary threatened to cancel orders if the delays continued. Airlines had been counting on these new planes for critical route expansions and staffing increases in the travel rebound. The certification delays forced many to cut back planned growth, angering both customers and investors. Third, strained relationships and trust issues. The repeated shortcomings have severely strained Boeing's relationships with airlines and aviation regulators. Trust has been shattered that Boeing can consistently deliver on its commitments and changes. Several major airline CEOs reportedly requested a meeting with Boeing's board last week to express their frustration directly. In his own comments, United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby said Boeing's leadership had really let us down. There is a sense that under the current regime, Boeing has been unable to prove it has truly reformed from the earlier culture issues that led to the 737 MAX disasters. New leadership is being brought in to try to restore confidence and credibility. Finally, Boeing has also faced mounting pressure and scrutiny from lawmakers and the FAA over its performance and safety cultures in recent months. The FAA has been conducting special reviews of Boeing's manufacturing operations to identify areas for improvement. There have also been calls from some in Congress to further investigate whether enough reforms were truly put in place at Boeing. With the government's patience wearing thin, the leadership shakeup may be an attempt to get ahead of potentially more disruptive interventions from regulators down the line. So those are the key factors that paved the way for this dramatic overhaul of Boeing's leadership team. But the new executives like Steve Mollenkopf, Stephanie Pope, and Elizabeth Lund face a daunting task in turning Boeing around. They'll be responsible for instilling a true safety-first culture that prioritizes quality and meticulous production standards at all levels of the company. This is crucial to regaining the confidence of both airline customers and aviation regulators. A big part of that is addressing the systematic operational issues around certifying new planes on schedule. The new leaders have to demonstrate they can get Boeing's house in order on this front to stop alienating major customers. It also remains to be seen if even this leadership reset will be enough to satisfy lawmakers and federal regulators. With Boeing under such an intense spotlight, any further missteps or safety lapses could invite much more disruptive interventions. Beyond the cultural and operational challenges, the new Boeing team also has to navigate tremendous financial and competitive pressures. Boeing lost $5 billion due to delays and issues in 2022 alone. At the same time, its fierce rival Airbus has been steadily gaining market share and opened new production facilities as Boeing has floundered. Restoring Boeing's reputation as a reliable, high-quality manufacturer is existential if it wants to remain viable against Airbus. Lastly, the executives have the difficult task of setting a new strategic direction and vision for Boeing's future. After years of crises and turmoil, they need to re-establish the innovation, engineering excellence, and cutting-edge product development that Boeing was once renowned for. So in conclusion, this is a seismic leadership overhaul for Boeing aimed at finally righting the ship after years of crises and missteps. The exits of CEO Dave Calhoun, commercial planes chief Stan Deal, among other top executives, represent an accountability reset. The incoming chairman Steve Mollenkopf now has the critical task of hiring a new CEO and forging the fresh start that Boeing so desperately needs. I hope the details were thoroughly explained. Don't forget to like and subscribe.